Good friend of mine hunting for hookers, Mike. He's down in, I think, South Carolina. Uh, he asked me to do a review of some of my hunting knives. And of course, over the years, I mean, you got to remember, I've been hunting now for about 42 years. I've got my favorites. And some of these have been retired. And I will explain to you why they have been retired. But what I've got here, I'm going to move these three out of the way for right now. In fact, I'm just going to put them back here. I am a big fan ever since I got into hunting, because my brother-in-law and my father-in-law, my brother-in-law Dennis, loved old timer. I've got several old timer pocket knives, tips have been broke off and so forth. But if anyone is familiar, especially all the older hunters like my generation, you know that Schrade, Old Timer, Uncle Henry are all made in the USA up until, and I can't remember what year it was, and it was in the 2000s. I can't remember if they filed bankruptcy or what they did, but a company out of Tennessee bought the name Old Timer Schrade, Uncle Henry. Now all the blades are China. They're made in China. The original Schrade, Old Timer, and Uncle Henry all were made in the USA, made with USA steel. But when I started squirrel hunting, my first squirrel hunting knife was this one here. These are still the original sheaths. These are original knives. They're going to be patinaed because carbon steel. That's what happens. This is what they called the sharp finger. That was my squirrel knife. And hopefully I can get it in the camera so you can see. But this is made in the USA. This is the number, oh, thought this did have the number on it. I don't see it. But this is known as the sharp finger. This was my knife for squirrel hunting. Like I said, since they went out of business, I've pretty much retired these knives. Then I got what is called the drop point. Oh, wait a minute. I'm wrong. Let me look at something here. Yeah. That's the drop point I just showed you. Again, let me show it. That is the drop point. It goes out and the point drops down. This was my second knife for squirrel hunting. This is the sharp finger. It should have been laying right there. This is the one they call the sharp finger. Now this one does have the number on it. This is a 152. But this is the sharp finger. And I don't know if you can see it or not. I may try to zoom in, get it to focus somehow to where you can see it says Schrade USA and it has the 142. But this is why it was called the sharp finger. This actually is a great skinning knife for skinning a deer. Of course, like I said, retired these two. Then the year I got into deer hunting, this is what my brother-in-law used. This is the Old Timer Deer Slayer. Now this one is model 150T. Kind of looks like the sharp finger on steroids. And I don't know if I can get in there so you can see that name or not. in the model number, but this was used on my first deer, the 6-point that I killed in 1983. I have had to replace the sheath. I got on eBay, found this sheath, and it's got the Duck Unlimited logo embossed on it, because my original sheath for this, the stitching come undone, and that was before I got into leather work. If I still had that sheath, I could repair it, but I carried this for many, many years. Now, like I said, these knives, these three here, are over 40 years old, and I keep them in a glass case. Then my father-in-law, he liked the Schrade, and this is the Schrade, what they call Golden Spike. Super sharp. This is model number 153UH. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. I'm trying to get it in there where hopefully you can see that name. If not, I'll try to zoom in with my editing software, but it feels good in the hand. You got this guard here, it's made of brass cap, and don't know, I can't tell you for sure if that's real stag handle. I'm sure it is, because these knives were expensive. This is the original sheath for it. It even has its own, get the knife out, it even has its own sharpening stone. A smooth, I don't know if that's an Arkansas stone or not. But I got that and started hunting with it. And I think it has gutted a few deer. But you know, these two here are the deer hunting knives that I used to carry. These are the squirrel knives that I used to carry. Right here. And then this knife, this holds some sentimental value. I bought this knife for my father-in-law years ago. I think he might have carried it a couple times. But when you look at this, you think you're looking at a buck 110. But it's not. This is a Schrade model 222. I think it's 187. Made in the USA. But it does. It looks like a buck 110. And this knife will never leave me until the day I'm 6 feet under, and that will go to Jared, because I bought this one for his pawpaw, and after his pawpaw passed away, I was able to get this knife back. So I've never taken this knife out, and like I said, I keep these in a glass case, but I think I'm gonna have to quit doing that. You know, it's not good to leave a carbon steel blade in a leather sheath for very long. All right, now, before Schrade went out of business, the USA Schrade, they were trying to get with the times. Everybody was going to more modern style handles on their knives, and I come across some of these. One of Jared's first hunting knives I got him was one of these old timer with the green rubber handles. Now this is made in the USA, kind of resembles a buck 119, but this is the 140 OT, I think it is. I don't think it's 1400T. I think it's 140 OT. But that's a deer hunting knife. I don't know if you'll be able to see the name clearly. It says USA. But it's very sharp. And like I said, it's got a brass lanyard hole. It's a rubber handle. And, you know, is it a full tang? I don't know. Is it a rat tail? I don't know. I don't really care. These have never been out in the woods. They come with a corduroy case. I'm not really fond of. But again, this was made, again, in the USA. Then I got this one, which is in a corduroy type case with a plastic sleeve. This one is the model 141 OT, made in the USA. It's sharp. It's got the brass hole for a lanyard, rubber grip. It feels loose. You know, there's no brass pins to hold that in here, so I don't know what holds this knife in. But this was probably the downfall of Schrade. I mean, they continued. I'm trying to get this in the camera so you can see that it is USA. They continued to make these, but they were trying to go modern. And I think of one of those reasons is why they may have had a problem. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I think. And then here, this one's still in the box, and I have one, I forgot to bring it out. It's hanging on the wall, still in the packaging. Last knife I bought from Kmart, and it was a Schrade, or an old timer. It was with the green handles. It's just like the one Jared has, but and that's the reason why I got it. But I left it in the package, I never took it out. Now this one, still in the box. There's the paperwork that came with it. And then again, corduroy case, plastic insert. And this one kind of looks like that one, but this one, that other one I just showed you, this is the 143 OT, made in the USA. Feels a little tighter, has the brass lanyard hole, has a gut hook. And hopefully you can see there, USA. And again, the gut hook was something that was more modern. So I got this. Like I said, I keep it in the box. But like I said, I'm a big Schrade old timer Uncle Henry guy. Now, a good friend of mine, I won't mention his name, he sent me this. This is an old timer, but this one is a 158 OT. Looks just like this one, made in USA. This one's made in China. This was after the other company bought the name Schrade Old Timer Uncle Henry. And let me see if I can get that in the camera so you can see the model number. Blue. You have to take my word for it. It's made in China. There, you should be able to see it. But it's got the gut hook. I will add this to my collection, but it's made in China. And I may even use this deer hunting. I don't know. But like I said, this one, made in China. Then, for Christmas, I can't remember, 2 or 3 years ago, there was a contest going on. I think it was Caldwell that sells the lead sled. They were having a contest, 25 days of Christmas. I entered it, and I won an old timer. And I didn't think about it until I got it. This is going to be one of the ones made in China. Now this one kind of resembles the one my brother-in-law carried. And of course his is made in USA. His is probably 50 years old. This is the Schrade 165 OT, but it does not say China on it. It does not say USA on it. But you can see how that's shaped. And you should see the name Schrade. I'll flip it over. There's the model number, and you can see there's no marking saying where it's made at. But this, I know this knife was probably produced after the USA Schrade old-timer Uncle Henry went out of business. But this is kind of like the one my brother-in-law carries. Like I said, that's made in China. And it's sharp. And the thing is, you know, I keep saying made in China. There are some good steels coming out of China. And using this would be the only way to tell is it as good a quality as the USA made ones. Then getting into bushcraft, survival, and all that, I went to that company. They're located in Tennessee. And I bought one of their bushcraft survivalist knives, which is right here. Corduroy sheath. It has fire steel. It actually has, there's a striker and the fire steel ferrous rod. It actually has a diamond sharpener. And I did a review on this before. This is a beefy, I don't even know, it's SCHF 52. Full tang, heavy monster. Doesn't have rivets, it has actually Torx head bolts in the handle. I don't know if you can see those. I know I'm in my camper and not a lot of light. But Torx head screws. I have used this. I have batoned logs with it. I added the lanyard to it. It feels good. I mean, it's heavy. You could almost split wood, you know, small stuff, just by swinging it down. And it's got a really good edge on it. But again, this is made in China. I will leave these laying out here. But this is my Schrades. And I just wanted to show them. My buddy Mike said, do a review of those, do a review of those knives you say you have. So, here they are. And the next video, I will show you what I carry now when I go deer hunting. Like I said, all these USA made are retired. I keep them. They'll be passed down to my sons, my grandsons when I'm gone. I know this one will go to Jared. I think Jared has this. Gotta remember, back in the days, some people may say I was spoiling my child, but I wasn't. When I knew Jared was interested in hunting as much as I was, I started buying him things that I knew when he got old enough and got a job and tried to find these things, they'd be hard to find. And if they did find them, they'd be expensive. I've seen this knife on eBay, USA made, go over $200 now. I paid $50 for it when I bought it 40 some years ago. So, I got him this. I think he's got the sharp finger. He's got the drop point. I can't remember. He may even have a golden spike. He doesn't have this. But I got those when it was USA made. So he's got those. So Brandon may end up with some of these. Or Colton, Jared's son. Or Lance, Brandon's son. We'll just have to wait and see. But those are my knives. Mike, I hope you was able to see this and enjoyed it. But like I said, next video, you'll see what I carry with me now. Thanks for watching J&J True Outdoor Adventures. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. That's the like button. And leave any comments, ask any questions, whatever. Everyone knows I respond to all comments. Appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.